Okay. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay. So we saw the 5 aspects necessary for action last time. Okay. Adhishtanam tata karnam cha karta karnam cha pratak vidam. All that we have seen. Okay. I think that's pretty clear. It's just an enumeration, a description, a certain paradigm being given. Okay. From your experience, what is how does an action happen? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And he is summing up that topic by saying in the 15th verse, Sharira Vang Mano Bhihi Yat Karma Parabha Prarabhute Naraha Nyayam Va Viparitam Va Panchete Tasya Hetavaha. Sharira Vang Mano Bhihi. By your body, mind, words. Yat Karma Prarabhate Prakarshena Arabhate. In a nice way you are going to do it. In a very competent way that you do it. Nyayam va viparitam va. Whether it is appropriate nyayam, viparitam opposite. Logical or illogical, appropriate or inappropriate. Panchete tasya hetavaha. These 5 are involved. Adhishtanam, karta, karnam, etc. These 5 things are involved. Naturally, your body, mind, all of this is necessary. You have to sense a doership. There has to be a basis and infrastructure. Without that, no action will happen. This is common observation. You can use various paradigms from science, from this, from that, whatever. But this is how it happens. Okay, then what? That much is common observation. What is the conclusion Vedanta is drawing from it? That is the important thing. Okay? Because data can be one. What conclusions you draw can be different. That will depend upon the stand that you are taking. And here our stand is on the Shastra, the Pramanam. Our stand is not on anything else. Okay? So on basis of that, what is it? He says, Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuyaha pashyati akrita buddhitva na pashyati durmatihi. Okay. What is that? He says, Tatraivam sati, this being so, that these 5 aspects, your body, mind, etc., all these are responsible for the action. Kevalam atmanam kartaram iti manyate. When you take yourself to be the doer, he says, Pashyati akrita buddhitvat. That you are taking because your buddhi has not been refined with this knowledge. Because all the 5 things he talked about are your observations. You have seen action happening in all this. You are the one who has seen everything. You are the one who is the witnesser of everything. How can you take yourself to be the doer then? If you say my mind is thinking, simple. Let us make it down to just one thing. Mind is thinking. Am I thinking? You have said mind is thinking, you have observed your mind to be thinking. That means what? You have taken a step back and you are the observer of your mind. You are the witnesser of your mind. The mind is doing the thinking. Then what are you? Not the thinker. So thinker you are talking about by taking the mind as yourself. Which is okay for functioning, but you are talking about realities here. We are not talking about in functioning how you are going to take it. Because nobody says functionally I am thinking, otherwise I am not thinking. Nobody says that. मैं सोच रहा हूँ. Too stressful you are, all this thinking. Let your mind get stressed, now you are okay. If you take that standpoint, your mind is also not stressed. At the most, it may be a bit tired. Body is doing. Arey, what a practice we had today, our morning. 3 hours, I am getting it back after two weeks. बहुत मजा आया. Both my body is still. I'm okay, na? You're observing what is happening in your body. In fact, out of the 3 hours practice, 2.5 hours was witnessing. Okay. So when you're talking about that, witnessing, etc., where is you in the picture? You are not the one who is doing that action. You are the one who's witnessed the action. Therefore, if you don't see it, that is because you are akratatmanaha. You're not very clear in what is happening to you. The height of viveka is to be able to witness everything. Everything is witnessed. I am the one who is the sakshi, the witnesser. That's the height of viveka. It takes time to get there. Okay, it's only after you come to Vedanta you understand that. But basic viveka will be there even before you get into it. Yeah. Therefore, he says, sa pashyati durmate, na sa pashyati durmati. Therefore, if you are a durmatihi meaning without this knowledge, not that you are evil-minded or something like some translations also. Okay. Yeah. If you have not been exposed, then you don't see it. Yeah. Then you won't see it, he says. So actually he is highlighting two things. One, you are the akarta, abhokta. Two, the necessity of a prepared mind. One, preparation. Second, exposure to knowledge. Both things are necessary. Without that, the thing is not complete. Once in terms of subject-object relationship, all that, your mind is very prepared to see that. Very often, our previous conditionings are so strong, we are not prepared to see it. Forget owning up. Owning up will take later. But even just to see it, it doesn't happen. Like I remember some years ago in Bombay, I was called because there was a yoga teachers training course going on. This association with yoga and me has been there for a long time. Even though I joke, I am one of the few yoga teachers who struggle to touch his toes. Okay. But that apart, the thing is, so I sat there, okay, thinking that because they are yoga teachers, they had done a teachers training course, thoda kuch witnessing, etc., they would have done, you know. Said, are you the body? You are not the body, you are the one who is witnessing the body. And all of them, no Swamiji, we are the body, no. Without the body, how can we do asanas? I said, because you can do the asanas, you are not the body. Why? You can make your body do what you want, no? I mean, the body is an instrument in your hand, isn't it? So can you see, the conditioning is preventing your knowledge. It's universal, okay? This type of conditioning, nobody blames anyone. Why? Because it's universal. Yeah. Universal. Everyone has this conditioning. Everyone thinks I am the body. From lifetimes this has been going on. Even though simultaneously there is an experience that you are witnessing the body. That's also there. If that was not there, how will you say what your body is about? How can you say you have a backache unless you have witnessed the body? Unless you are aware of the body? You cannot say that. Even a simple statement like that, you cannot make. So the fact that you are the sakshi, the witness, is implicit in every experience of yours. In every experience, it's implicit. It's not explicit, yes, but it's implicit. It is there, na? I'm hungry. That means you are witnessing your pranic activities and there is hunger developed. That's implicit. But the identification is so strong that you say, I am hungry. Not that the language is going to change after you gain wisdom, okay? Please don't do that. This body is hungry. This mind is restless. That is called spiritual snobbery. Okay. We have a term in Sanskrit for these, and not Sanskrit, among the sadhus for these things. We call it Mahatma Giri. You know what is Mahatma Giri? You have heard, na? Chamchagiri, Dadagiri. Oh, like that, Mahatma Giri. Acting like a Dada is Dadagiri. So acting like a Mahatma is Mahatma Giri. Okay, so don't do that. Yeah. No, but I am a wise man. Malum hai, chalo. You're a wise man means you discovered how foolish you were all these years. That's all. और कुछ बड़ा बात नहीं है उसमें. So language doesn't change, but this is implicit there, that you are the witness. Therefore he says, all right. So if it is clear, what happens? Yasya naham krito bhavaha buddhir yasya na lipyate hatvasa iman lokan na hanti na badhyate. Yasya naham krito bhavaha. One who has got this bhava, this knowledge, and this knowledge becoming a part of your life, both are included in the word bhava. Okay? Bhava means it has become the knowledge has become a fact of your life. Okay? Yeah. It is like, how do you explain bhava? You have this in music and dance. In Indian study of aesthetics, there are two components that are very important. One is the bhava, other is the rasa. So when somebody is dancing or someone is singing, if the audience is identifying with the music and is enjoying it exactly like how the musician or the dancer is portraying, that is called rasa. So we will talk about Navarasa, 9 major rasas, then permutations, combinations, variations, modifications, all are there. Okay. Sringaram, Viryam, Premam, all that, like that it goes on. But the audience will have that rasa only if the singer or the dancer has the bhava. What is the bhava? The song that you are unfolding or the story that you are portraying in your dance, and you are one and the same. You are identified so much with it. Okay. Yeah. So when you are singing out of love, you must be the lover. Otherwise it doesn't work. Otherwise it is a nice, technically perfect performance. I have seen like that, technically perfect performance, लेकिन कुछ मजा नहीं आया. Why is technically perfect? भावा नहीं है. Or I have seen people, they are not technically that good. Thoda either other minor, this you can notice. But the bhava is so much that audience, wow, this was something else altogether. Yeah. Similarly, yasya naham krito bhavaha. When the wise man, who is a wise person? I am not the karta bhokta, I am satyam jnanam anantam brahman. That knowledge has become one with you. It has become like a bhava. It is one with you. It is not isolated in one corner of the mind. When you think of the Atma, I am Satyam Jnana. Otherwise, I am whatever I am doing. No, this is constant. Satsya naham krito bhavaha. Buddhi yasya nalipyate. Buddhi is rooted in this knowledge, therefore cannot be caught up in anything else. You may do a million things. You may do a million things. But where is your buddhi? Na lipyate. Is not caught up in anything, it is rooted in this knowledge. You can be doing a million things with great involvement, enthusiasm, etc. you can be doing, but your rooting is in this knowledge all the time. Okay, you are rooted in this knowledge. Okay. such a person, hatva man lokan, even if he kills all these people, even if he kills all of them, na hanti na nibadhyate, he does not really kill, nor is he bound by that action. He is echoing what he has said in the second chapter. He is echoing what he has said in the second chapter. One who knows this, na hanti na hantaram. He had said that. He is neither the killer nor the killed. Same way here, even though he kills, he is not killing. Talking, I am not talking. Walking, I am not walking. Though I am walking at the same time, but not walking. It sounds paradoxical. What to do if you are paradoxical? That's the truth. And in this echoing of the second chapter, there is a purpose there. Okay. Because in traditional writing, even any serious writing, the beginning and ending has to be in harmony. Otherwise, you began somewhere and ended somewhere else, means what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? You started with something and then you ended up with something else. There are two things in this world, Atma and Anatma. Then after some time, so all there is only Atma. Huh? You started with two things. Now how can you say there is only one thing? Which is right? Which statement is right? There is only one reality, it appears as two. Atma, Anatma. Then you describe the Anatma, why is it there, etc., etc. You describe the nature of the Atma. Therefore, all there is the Atma. Now there is harmony. This is, so when you listen to other speakers also, see whether they are following these things. They will tell you whether they are Sampradaya with teachers or not. Abhi, you all are towards the end of the Gita. Some understanding should be there to be able to evaluate whom to listen, whom not to listen to. Because the social media is a supermarket of spirituality. Big bazaar. So you know whom to listen, whom not to listen. Go by these things. Okay. There is a Shadlinga Vichara available, but two of those factors are here. This is one important thing. How you begin and how you end. Is it in harmony? Yeah. One point to be considered. Okay. Therefore he says, killing all these people. No action done. Where is action? Kuch hai hi nahi. It should go all the way. And when they string you up, the judge says, okay, hang him until he dies. I am not killed. If you can say that, then it is fine. Okay, not otherwise. Yeah, not otherwise. Yeah, not otherwise. Now we are not talking about your capacity to tolerate pain, etc. That's a different thing. That also will go higher, a little higher with this knowledge. But that is also part of your training and everything. Everyone cannot have that. Everyone cannot be a Bhishma. When Shikandi comes in front of him, he lowers his bow. And Shikandi and Arjuna both fire arrows at him. When Bhishma looks at his chest, full of arrows, okay? He says, Neme bhana Shikandinaha. Half these arrows are Shikandi's arrows. Why? They bounce off my armor. Neme bhana Arjunasya. Half these arrows are Arjuna's. Why? They pierce my armor and burn my flesh. Now that capacity to say will belong only to the warrior, okay? Because it's a question of mental training as well. So don't expect every wise person to be like that. Yeah, don't expect every wise person to be like that. Yeah. So, yeah. But this is the understanding that you are neither the killer nor the killed. You are neither the doer nor the bhokta, the enjoyer, the one who receives all the action. You are free from both of them. Only then the knowledge is complete. Okay. Okay. Any questions or others, or is it clear? I have one of my young students also popping up on the screen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then he says, Jnanam Jneyam Parijnata Trivida Karma Chodhanam Karanam Karma Karteti Trividam Karma Sangraha. another way of looking at the whole system. Okay? Jnanam, Jneyam, Parijnata. Jnanam, knowledge. Vritti Jnanam here, thought with respect to the objects outside, etc. Jneyam, the object of knowledge. Okay. Parijnata, the knower, the one who knows these two. Okay. Trividam karma chodana. Karma chodana, action is impelled by these three. When you say you have freedom of choice, it implies these three, isn't it? You have knowledge of the thing, you have an object that you want to achieve, and the karta who wants it. Karma chodanam. Okay. And karanam karma karteti trividham karma sangraha. Okay. Then karanam, instrument. Karma, the action. Karta, the one who considers himself doer. Now he is splitting the human being into two, knower and doer. Okay. Doer. Trividam karma sangraha. These make action possible. One impels the action. The other makes action possible. Are you seeing the division? We are always living in a knowledge-oriented world. Without knowledge, there is no action. Whether you are dealing with a sophisticated, crazed computer or making a cup of tea in the kitchen. Something simple like that. Simple? It is not simple. Huh? It is not really simple. If you go to England, you will understand that you have to teach them how to make a proper cup of tea. The British, not the Indians, the British. They'll say Indian chai and give you a concoction which you can't take. Which you can barely drink. Yeah, you can barely drink it. They'll put a chai ka decoction, they will put some sugar syrup and God knows what all things, and then give you a lukewarm glass. Lukewarm. Forget hot, it's not lukewarm. Chai. ठीक है, पी लो. It's as good as drinking some water. So, if it is a simple thing like making chai for us, or you are handling a sophisticated coding program, it's all knowledge oriented. Na? You know what is out there, you know what has to be achieved, you have knowledge of the thing, and you are the knower. Unless you take yourself to be a knower, you have to choose to want it or not want it. You have to choose your action, isn't it? So, those are the things that impel the action. Swamiji, what about desire? Desire comes from knowledge. Huh? Desire comes from knowledge? Of course. Of course, desire comes from knowledge. Do you desire what is there in my pocket? You can't say yes or no because you don't know what is there in my pocket. The heart can desire only what the eye has seen. Silence of the Lambs, the secret to finding out who the killer was. The eye can desire, the heart can desire only what the eye has seen. Every object of desire is an object of knowledge. Therefore, that is the focal, that is the impelling. That's what impels action. Okay. And what is the instrument of the action? The same knower but karta now. One who has taken himself to be the doer, the karta, karma, action, and karanam, instruments of action. Okay. Two simple paradigms. Okay. Why is he dividing it like that? It's important to understand that. Why? Remember the paradigm sattva rajas tamas, sattva rajas tamas? That paradigm is bringing in now. That paradigm is bringing into this. Jnanam karma cha karta cha tridheva guna bhedataha prochate guna sankhena ithavat shrunutanyapi. Jnanam, knowledge. Karma, action. Karta, the doer. Trideva guna bhedata are threefold in terms of guna, sattva, rajas, tamas. But I thought jnanam was always sattvic and karma was always rajasic. No, that is broad categorization. That's a broad categorization. Then there are finer categorizations coming in. In the finer categorization, jnanam also sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Karma also sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Karta also sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Jnata also sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. All that is there. That he says, Shrunu, listen to me. Prochate guna sankhyena. Okay. There is in the Shastra that deals with gunas, etc. All this is handled. So listen to that. All right, ready, bolo. Ready. I am willing to hear. Please say. Okay. All right. Sarva bhuteshu yenekam bhavam avyayam ikshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu tajnanam viddhi satvikam. Here, satvikam jnanam. This is satvikam jnanam. What is satvikam jnanam? Here, sarva bhuteshu, in all beings, in all names and forms. Ekam bhavam, one reality, one vastu. It says, avyayam, non-changing, yad ikshate, one who sees that, one who knows that. Okay. Avibhaktam vibhakteshu, indivisible, avibhaktam, in all the different names and forms. In all of them, that one reality. Once you know, the knowledge of that one reality, Atma Jnanam, in other words, knowledge of Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, that knowledge, he says, Viddhi Satvikam. That is called Satvika Jnana. Therefore, Atma Jnanam is presented as Satvikam Jnanam. Knowledge of the reality. So, Brahma Vidya is presented as Satvikam knowledge. Why? Because it talks about the one underlying reality behind the whole thing. The grand unified theory you want, you have to come to this. Otherwise, there will be no real unified theory. Okay? Everything will remain separate. Now, don't quote me as, oh, this is science. No, I am saying Vedanta, not science. Okay, I am just using the terminology. Don't say Vedanta is talking about unified theory. No. I am just using that paradigm to point out something different. The language I am using, that's all. Yeah. Okay, then what? So, Sattvika knowledge. This is clear, simple. Only one thing you have to know. If you know this one thing, that is Sattvika Jnanam. Then what is Rajasic Jnanam? I thought all Jnanam was Sattvika. Here. Prataktvena yat Jnanam nana bhavam pratak vidhan veti sarveshu bhuteshu tad Jnanam viddhi rajasam. Prataktvena yat Jnanam, the knowledge of differences. Nana bhavan pratak vidhan, everything is separate, you learn to categorize it. How many elements are there? 132. Atomic weight, etc. known. Pratak vidam. Yeah. Cooking. You go to an Indian household, a Gujarati or a Punjabi household, and see their masala dabba. Eat no masala. I use only turmeric and chili powder. Ye kitna masala hai? Kya hai ye sab? Swamiji, you are a sadhu. This is for us. We have all these. Yeah, some 30 masalas will be there. Pratak Vidhan. Each is different, distinct. Pratak Vidhan. So, the knowledge, that knowledge makes you understand differences. This is biology. This is physics. Can you combine biology and physics? At certain higher levels you will, if you go into biocentrism, etc. But otherwise, when you are studying, it's all different. No? Different branches of knowledge, different medicine, engineering, technology, etc. All that different things. So, knowledge of differences. That knowledge which emphasizes on differences, that knowledge, he says, Veti sarveshu bhuteshu, sarveshu bhuteshu. You have categorized everything as different. Yeah. That he says what? Tajnanam Viddhi Rajasam. This is Rajasic knowledge. Because what is there is one reality. What is it that you are seeing? Differences. Is it functionally valid? Definitely. Is it useful? Definitely. Does it help us in our life? Definitely. Don't dismiss it as useless, okay? Why am I saying this? You know, we got exposed to all this a little bit when we were in college. And I knew this guy, brilliant guy actually. If any one of us deserved to be an engineer, he was the one who deserved to be an engineer. Okay? Brilliant, really. Will make all sorts of gadgets when he was in school and college. I knew him since then. But after some exposure to Vedanta, he is sitting down and his physics teacher is talking, he is saying, Ajnani hai, kuch nahi janta hai. Can imagine what happened to his marks. Okay. In spite of himself, something had gone in, because of that he passed. He could have been a brilliant researcher, but he had to end up working as some bank or something like that, because he is sitting down and thinking. He doesn't know the truth. He's an ignorant man is speaking. Yeah, but he's got knowledge of things which can help you in your life. Yeah. That's like me running a trust and going and thinking the charity commissioner idiot, he doesn't know Vedanta, he doesn't know the truth. This is a trust about Vedanta. Kya ho jayega? To my trust. He'll get de-roasted, knocked off. So, functioning world, all your vyavahara jnanam that is useful in the world is called Rajasic knowledge. Is useful, very, very useful. Functionally valid is functionally valid. There may be some seeming contradictions. That's part of the game. In vyavahara, there will be seeming contradictions. Now, what can I do? The world is like that. I have to understand it like that. Like my old example. The theory of light very clearly states light is a wave motion. But all your optical instruments, the specs, etc., is made on the straight line theory of light. This should not work actually, but it works. It works. So, do what works. As far as the world is concerned, do what works. So, Rajasic knowledge is meant for that. Okay, all right. Okay. Yattu Krishna vad ekasmin karye saktam mahetukam atatvartha vad alpam cha tat tamasam udahritam. Yattu Krishna veda ekasmin karya. When your total commitment is with one thing only, you are obsessed with one thing in short. In short, you are obsessed with one thing. Okay. Saktam ahetukam. And you are holding on to it even though it's not very reasonable. There is no hetu, reason in it. Even though without reasoning you are holding on to it. Atatvartham. It does not deal with any of the realities. Okay. Alpam, very limited. In other words, all your mistaken, erroneous conclusions. They are also knowledge because they happen here. No? Like I saw a mullah speaking on YouTube. Very convinced. The earth does not rotate. And his students think, Sahib, साइंस तो सिखाता है ऐसा, अर्थ रोटेट हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है, डजंट रोटेट. वाई? कुरान में तो बोला है जन्नत तो, द हेवन इज डायरेक्टली अबव मक्का. ओके, सो इफ द अर्थ रोटेट्स व्हाट विल हैपन? You should say Mecca also is rotating, heaven is also rotating. Heaven is a dimension, why should it not rotate? No. Science is wrong, earth does not. This is called tamasam. Yes, some apata jnanam here and there. But tamasam, holding on to that. Holding on to that. Some erroneous conclusion and you hold on to that. Because somebody said it, something you read somewhere. No. It happens in many things. Now believe me, certain scientific conclusions may be proved erroneous later on. Okay, that's a different thing. For the time being, it's held as valid, and you are not being fanatical about it. When facts change, you are willing to change. When data changes, you are willing to change. So that is still rajasic. But if you are not willing to change when data and facts change, tamasam jnanam. Tamasam jnanam. Okay. Erroneous, all your erroneous, in short, put all your erroneous conclusions that you are holding on to as tamasic knowledge. Sometimes it is done to market something also. Yeah, sometimes it is done to market something also. Coconut oil is full of cholesterol, bad for you, use palm oil. 30 years ago it started. And half the Mallus stopped using coconut oil and went to palm oil. And then started getting up heart attacks, this, that, etc. So now coconut oil is being touted as a superfood. You'll never get dementia if you use coconut oil. The rates of dementia are less in the south anyway. One is because we keep our brains active. Number two is coconut oil. Yeah. Do you know, for treatment in the Solan Catering Institute in USA, for dementia treatment, along with the medication that they give you, they ask you to take 3 teaspoons of coconut oil, morning, afternoon, evening, virgin coconut oil. That's part of the treatment. Some of you, how do you know that? I know that because one of my students took our husband there for the treatment and they added this. And they said this is standard, we add it to everyone. But what about heart blockage, etc.? Nothing will happen. Therefore, if you are doing it as a marketing gimmick, tamasam for whom? For the people who swallow it. Those characters who do it, they know what it is. There is rajasic. Why? Out of greed for money, they are doing it. Their knowledge is rajasic. Your swallowing it is tamasic. Because we are swallowing it without verifying. Yeah. Okay. Therefore, tamasam jnanam. All right. So, now look at it. You have sattvic knowledge, which is atma jnanam. You have rajasic knowledge, which is functionally valid knowledge. You have tamasic knowledge, all your erroneous conclusion, which creeps into your functioning. Okay. Yeah. Now my question is, with sattvic knowledge, will your karma become sattvic? Or will, huh?
Follow that, then the karma can.
Yeah, you will not become a sattvika karta with sattvic knowledge. Sattvic knowledge makes you akarta bhokta. Sattvika knowledge releases you from karta bhokta. It releases you from the bonds of karma even when you are doing. Why? Karmani akarmaya pashyet, 4th chapter. Akarmani karmaya. One who sees action in inaction and inaction in action. That is sattvika jnana. Therefore, sattvika jnanam frees you from karma bandhanam. It does not make you a karta, nor does it make you do sattvika karma. Then what is karma also sattvik, rajasic, tamasic? Karma is supposed to be predominantly rajasic. How do you make the rajasic karma into sattvic karma? Here. Niyatam sangarahitam aragadveshatah kritam afala prepsuna karma yattat sattvikam karma uchyate. Sattvikam uchyate. Yattat sattvikam uchyate. What is sattvikam? Okay. Niyatam, your nitya karmas you are doing, what you are regularly supposed to do, including taking care of your health, etc. Okay, that's also a niyatam karma. Yeah, niyatam karma. Okay, sangarahitam, without being emotionally dependent on the result. नहीं करेंगे तो क्या करेगा? Relax. You are much more than the things that you do. So one day you don't do it, or you can't do certain things, or you have to give up a job, you are asked to leave a job, etc. You are okay. Sangarahitam. Okay. Adveshataha kratam. Okay. Aragadveshata, without ragadvesha. But Swamiji, I have ragadvesha, that's why I am doing it. Acha, you have ragadvesha, then afala prepsuna, without longing for the result. How? Ishwararpanam prasada buddhi. Ishwararpanam prasada buddhi. That is the meaning of aragadvesha, without raga and dvesha. Without raga and dvesha, how? If there is no raga, why should you be doing? Hey, come on, let's go for a movie. लाल छड्डा सिंह अच्छा मूवी है. अरे रागा नहीं है उसको देखने के लिए, भाई ओरिजिनल देखा है ना हमें. फॉरेस्ट गंप की सीन अभी एक कॉपी क्यों देखने के जाके? नो इच्छा, देन यू वोंट डू इट. आई एम नॉट गोइंग इट बिकॉज ऑफ द्वेषा. द कैरेक्टर मेक्स ए कैरिकेचर ऑफ ऑल हिंदू गॉड्स. Okay, okay, relax. It is true he has made caricatures, but don't go overboard on it, okay? Relax. Why are you getting upset? If you want to do something, otherwise relax. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, don't get worked up on it, don't think. If you have ragadvesha and you are doing it, then karma buddhya you do it. Ishwararpanam prasada buddhi. Yes, I am going to do something. I am going to start a protest. Okay, Ishwararpanam prasada buddhi. Without hatred then it comes. Prasada buddhi also, it may work, it may not work. So what? Prasada buddhi. Yeah, it's important to keep that in mind. You can take part in all social causes that you want to. But remember, Ishwararpanam prasada buddhi. That's important. Especially when you are trying to change the world. Why? It can be highly frustrating, okay? It can be highly frustrating. I told you stories of what all I have done and what all has happened. Yeah. Things can go in sixes and people whom you are trying to help will destroy what you have done. Yeah. Because there is no shortage of idiots in the world, you know. And if you go and try to fight them all that, you are one of them. If you feel you have to do something, get above it. Do with Ishwararpanam and Prasada Buddhi, then you maintain your balance. Then the same action that others do with Ragadvesha, and therefore Rajasic, you are making it Sattvic. The action is becoming Sattvic because of your attitudes. Action by itself is just action. Action is not Rajasic or Sattvic. It is the attitude that makes it. Yesterday in Bombay, two things happened. Very similar. In one of the streets of Bombay in the night, one character took a knife and slit open somebody's stomach. A robbery attempt gone wrong. The police managed to catch him behind the bars, and he is charged with a serious crime, manslaughter, etc. And therefore, he is going to probably get capital punishment. At the same time, in one of the hospitals, the surgeon took a sharper instrument, slit open someone's stomach to find the appendix had already burst inside and it had infected all the organs. Peritonitis has already set in. It's come too late. He washes his hands off. Patient dies on the table. He would have died otherwise also. This was a last ditch attempt. One pays for his crime. The other is paid for what he had done. Immediately the surgeon waives off the charges over just because operation successful, patient died, that's all. what makes the difference? One you are trying to save a person, the other you are trying to kill somebody. Attitude makes the thing different. It's the same way, action remaining the same. If you are going to do it out of this, it will become sattvic. Karma yoga buddhya, when you are doing it, then that same action is considered sattvic. Sattvika. Then what? Yattu kama epsuna karma sahankarena va punaha kriyate bahulayasam tadras jasam udahritam. Kama epsuna, impelled by desire. So there are two things, Are you a driven person or do you have the drive? A karma yogi has the drive. He uses the desire, he has the drive. If you are not a karma yogi, you are driven. You have to do that. You have to get that. That's the mark of a slave, not a master. Isn't it? If you are driven, if you are driven by your desires are riding you. You are not a human being. You have become the horse and the desire has become the human being sitting on top. Have the drive. Don't be driven. Kama ipsana means to be driven by the desire. Be driven by it. Sahankarena vapuna, with ahankara. I made a killing there. Where? Stock market. Can you really predict the stock market? People try. I have spoken to some experts who make lots of money on the stock market. But they say, Swamiji, 50% of our investments don't make profit. 50% don't make profit. Luckily, the other 50% makes up. So nobody can predict with any great accuracy. Yeah. But I did it. I predicted it. Malum hai kitna hota. Sahankarena. So what is the karma yogi's attitude? The rajasic character says, I did it. The karma yogi says, thank God I could do it. Big difference. Huge difference from the two. From I did it to thank God I could do it. I set up all this. By God's grace, I could set up all this. Wow, what a difference in that. Confidence levels are the same. Confidence levels are the same. Achievement satisfaction is the same. Recognition of something higher that made it possible makes you great. Otherwise, next time you fail, you'll call yourself a failure. Or you'll look whom to blame for your failure. One of the two things will happen. Either you'll blame yourself and take yourself to be a failure, otherwise see whom to blame, including your stars, okay? Today for 2 hours that Shani was in that position. That's why this happened. TK. When you saying that, actually speaking, you're acknowledging Ishvara's role. Yeah. The whole order of things for success and failure you are acknowledging. If you are doing it that way, it is great. Okay? Not blaming. Okay. Therefore, and kriyate bahulayasam. Done with great effort. You mean to say Sattvika Karta doesn't put in great effort? Both put in great effort. Here, great ayasam, here it talks in more in terms of being stressed out with it, running around like a headless chicken. This has to be done, that has to be done, worried, anxious, all that. Bahulayasam. Yeah, bahulayasam. Great this thing. Yeah. Okay. Tad rajasam udahritam. This is called rajasika karta. Karma. Rajasika karma. When it is done like this, it is rajasikam. Alright, then what is sattvikam? What is tamasikam? Sattvikam is karma yoga. Karma yogic actions are this thing. Same thing. Both may be working to set up a business. Same actions are being done by both. One is doing with Ishvara Arpanam and Prasada Buddhi, that becomes Sattvik. The other person is doing like how it is described. I have to get it, I have to make that killing, I have to do that. Rajasic. Both may become equally successful. What is the difference? The growth that happens. The growth that happens. One will mature out and become bigger than the whole industry. The other person will be bound by that whole thing. One person will say, been there, done that. Now let me see whether I can give something away in charity, etc. Yeah, because he has grown enough. The other, I say, wow, this is mine. I have got it. Abhi now I see how to protect it and make it grow. Big difference, na? In the growth levels. Yeah. Then what is tamasic? Anubandham kshayam himsam anvekshacha paurusham mohad arabhyate karma yattat tamasam uchyate. That action which doesn't take into account anubandham. What are the consequences of me doing all this? Kshayam. Are you willing to bear that loss? Hey, I also want to invest in the share market. I have a friend who helps people invest in share market. People come to him, hey, I also have to invest in share market. And the first question he asks them is, do you have spare money to invest? Yeah, this much money I am willing to play around with. Are you willing to lose half of it? Huh? I don't want to lose. I want to make money in the stock market. Unless you are willing to lose, you don't even start. Kshayam, are you willing? You are not taken that into consideration. Out of your enthusiasm, you heard people making money in the stock market, you also want to do it. My God, one retired school teacher got after me like that. I had to send her to 3 experts I know before she got some sense into her head. That loss can be no. But she said, no, you'll make money. And so that man said, okay, in whatever you think, I'm not going to do it for you, but whatever you think is good, invest 50,000 rupees and see. See what it works out. She did it. Lost some 28,000 rupees out of that 50,000. And then comes to me, you can lose also. I said, what do you think I've been telling you for the last whole year? I sent you to 3 experts and all the 3 experts pointed out that you have to be ready for the consequences. You didn't listen to any of them. Now you have to learn from your experiences. They are telling from their experience. You couldn't learn from their experience. Okay, I'm a monk. You thought I don't know anything. Fair enough. I don't really know the intricacies. I only know the generalities. So I sent you to 3 experts. All of them said the same thing. That is a tamasic karma. Luckily, she learned out of it. If you stick with it, then you deserve to lose. Somebody else will make money. Because stock market is like that. There is no creation of wealth. For somebody to make money, somebody else has to lose money. Okay. Anubandham kshayam himsam. The injury that to others that is involved. Injury to yourself, your health, etc. you have to take care of. Injury to others. Are you taken into account environmental damage? You have to take that also into account in today's world. Are you making too much of plastic? Too much of plastic is involved in what you are doing. Are you cutting down too many trees? Is there a balance between the gain that you will get and the loss that is involved in terms of the environment, etc.? All that has to be taken into account. Himsam. Anveksham cha paurusham. Without looking into your own capacity, are you capable of doing it? Or can you find capable people? Or are capable people willing to come and help you? If that all is not taken into account, that is paurusham, your capacity as a person. Okay. Moha, then why are you doing it? Mohad arabhyate. Out of some deluded thinking you are starting. Some deluded thinking, some delusional thinking. Mohad arabhyate. Like the school teacher who wanted to make money on the stock market. Mohad arabhyate. Some delusion. I will become rich overnight. Mohad arabhyate. Tat tamasam uchyate. That is called tamasam. That is tamasam. So now, your sattvika jnanam with his atma jnanam. Rajasic knowledge, which is functional knowledge. Tamasic is erroneous conclusion. Your action, sattvika action, is karma yoga. So the sattvika knowledge is out of the picture now. That is akarta bhokta. So for sattvika karma, you need rajasic knowledge. Have you seen that? Rajasic knowledge creates, with the change of attitude, you make it sattvika karma. Rajasic karma is without those attitudes, but still rajasic knowledge is used. Tamasic karma comes with tamasic jnanam. There is no problem. Everything is wrong, deluded here. So your karma also is deluded. Yeah. So with these, you see the thing. Sattvic knowledge goes out of the picture because akarta bhokta it is. In this equation, it doesn't come in. So rajasic knowledge with attitude becomes sattvika karma. Without good attitudes, it becomes rajasic karma. Tamasic knowledge, tamasic karma. Fits in very well, no problems. Why is all this said? Where are you in the picture? Aap kahan hai? Ye sab hai. The picture is drawn. Where do you fit in? And where do you want to be? Ultimately, we all want to go into sattvik knowledge. So how do I go about it? That's the whole idea. Okay? With rajasic knowledge, I have put in sattvika attitudes, make the karma sattvic, which makes my mind ready to understand sattvika jnanam. And the sattvika jnanam frees free from the problem of karma itself. It doesn't put me into the karma. It frees me whether I am doing karma or not doing karma. Yeah. Now be careful when you see some people functioning. Swamiji, you're in your late 60s. Why are you starting that whole ashram project? किसके लिए? किसके लिए? I have a whole succession plan ready in my mind. I have good people helping me, great people, all of you. Great people. Some more, some less. Great people. People like Suresh, Sunita and all, great. Day-to-day thing they are having. So Paurisham not a problem. I may not be very capable. I may be old. But great people are there. Fundraisers are there. All of you have been raising it. So what is the problem? But Swamiji, how long will you be around? Not a problem. I see young students whom I have to teach, or peeping into the video background, etc. Kaisa karega? So next generation of teacher is also ready. More teachers will be ready. So it's my exit plan, okay? 20 साल के बाद समाधि में बैठ के निकल जाने का और क्या? No problems. But what was the desire that prompted you? No desire. No desire, then how did action happen? Guru Vakyam, simple as that. His wish is my command. Ho gaya kaam. Now you decide what it is. My Guru was told, okay, his health was very, very badly compromised. Very badly compromised. 2010. Swamiji, why are you starting a new batch? This probably will be my last batch. And the best teaching of his teaching happened in that batch. So now all the books that we are going to publish, it will be the transcription of that batch. Because at the peak of him as a teacher, that is his peak as a teacher. Health is compromised, yeah, he would joke during the course. Yeah, that's true. I cannot see very clearly. I cannot hear clearly. Kidneys are fired. He's on dialysis, okay? Lungs are compromised. But I am fine. I'll teach. In people like that, you don't try to put this paradigm into it, okay? It won't work. Why? Akarta, bhokta. I am not the body, I am not the mind, etc. I am Satyajnanam Anantam Brahman, and from that things are happening. No issues. They will not come into this picture. So be careful when you try to look at the world around you. Okay. So first class after a long time, so there are 5 minutes extra. Okay. So good place to stop. Think about it, and if there are any questions next time, please come with that. Okay. Om Tat Sat.